Let's talk about the pattern stamp tool. Now, how would I use the pattern stamp tool to paint this background? Now, this is just a super old AI image that I made back in 2022, and I've got a ton of these. I love the colors and the perspective and all of that stuff. But if you zoom in back in the day when they first started doing these backgrounds, you got all of this kind of computer generated yuck. So I have a ton of these that I wouldn't really want to use as it was made because, it's good from far, but far from good, right? So this is what I would do. By using a few different brushes, you could completely transform this kind of computer generated jargon into what looks like an amazing painting. And I always tell my students, just use AI to practice on because it's an endless supply of really bad images and you can really practice making things look amazing. After you're done making all of the artistic changes, painting, everything to it, it really does become your digital art. It's no longer a computer generated thing. I mean, don't use it like this. So duplicate your layer. Come over here to your pattern stamp tool. You are going to make a snapshot of this image as a pattern. So you're going to go edit, define pattern, save it whatever you want, and that's what you're going to use. So now you're going to make sure Impressionist is clicked on, depending on how much of a flow you want. I always use 100% opacity and whatever flow. What I like to do, especially when I've got sky and water that I want to manipulate, is I'll come up. And if you have my 2026 art brush set, you're going to see smoke cloud brushes. But more than that, you're going to see that there's only one that doesn't have a tool applied or assigned to it. And that's the one you want to use for this. And for this, I'm just going to leave my flow at 48. And all I'm going to do is come in and oh so gently brush over this. Now, the key is to wherever you put your stylus down, you're going to pull it up towards the branches because I don't want to pull this dark color into the sky. I want to keep the light blue colors of the sky. So by starting up in the sky color, you're just going to pull those lighter colors down over these branches like this. And it's just going to help with your next step. Don't worry about going over, other pieces like this one too much because you can bring that back in your next step. Yeah, you're just going to try and pull those lighter sky colors over the foliage surrounding the sky area like so. And then once you do that, you're going to take the same brush and you're going to do the same thing down in the water. So you can see me just kind of pulling these pixels, this color over top of the edges of the water like so. And again, we're not worrying too much at this point about what the foliage looks like because we are going to change and manipulate that with other brushes too. And then once you do this, you do have the ability to do something really cool as well. I'm just going to come back over here really quick and just oh so gently softening all of this area down here as well. So again, pulling the watercolors over the edges just to give it that kind of soft, watery feel. Okay, so once you do this, what you can do, which is super fun, is put another layer above it. And this time you're going to sample some of this watercolor. So you're going to go back to your brushes. You're going to choose that same brush that you just used, but you're going to sample a watercolor like that. And I'm going to actually put this back where it was when I was doing the last one. And now you're just going to oh so gently come back over top all around the edges. You can make it a little bit brighter because it should be a little bit brighter here in the middle. And we're just going to oh so gently brush this on. Now, you can see all the striations right here. What I would suggest is go to your other cloud brush right about here, and this one will have less of those. So we're just going to gently brush this over top like so. Just like this. Okay, you can reduce this a little bit, maybe right about here. Put another layer, go back to your pattern stamp tool. This time I'm going to choose from my no tool set, my floral no textures brush. And this one I'm gonna make tiny. The reason is because the smaller you make your brush, the more defined it becomes. I'm gonna pull up my flow a bit for this one. And I'm just gonna come in and go over top of these little kind of abstract they're trying to make to be foliage. But keep in mind that now your pattern stamp tool is sampling that original pattern that you created. So we can go over top of all of this little cloudy kind of mix that we made, because this brush is going to bring back all the detail of all of the items underneath it that remain as part of that pattern that we made earlier. Okay, and this is going to give you some really cool painting-like structures to all of this so-called foliage in your background and make it look a lot more painterly and more painting-like than this AI kind of weird abstract anomaly image. Now, I tend to kind of keep the structure of what look like or appear to be trees just so that it still looks very much as it should. But yeah, just go over top of all of the little anomalies. And you can always switch up your brushes and change your brushes out. Like, let's say we wanted something more like this flower for these, then you can come in and use a different brush. So I usually use maybe 2 or 3 different brushes when I'm creating these backgrounds, and these make awesome backgrounds for compositing and the like, but even more so, they're great for practicing these techniques. And then if you find that you have a really nice scene that you shot outside, some landscape scene, but you think, "Oh, geez, I really wish that it was a little softer, a little more artistic," then this is the best tool to use for those purposes. And then you can always come in with a regular kind of art brush and just go over other surfaces. Like this is more like a rock. So you can just come in and kind of paint over that just for different texture and effect so that it's not that same kind of AI anomaly showing up in your image, so that every pixel in your image is actually painted. And then the last thing I would do is I would add some color toning. So I would go into my blacks and probably add some red. And already you can see that that really makes it look super pretty and more painterly. Go into your neutrals. We've got a ton of cyan and green in this, so we might want to add some magenta and maybe a bit of blue or even yellow. And then go into your whites and probably add some more of that cyan and just pull up the whites a bit. And now you have created an image that is all yours that you can use for a composite, and it should be pretty dreamy.